with it now. Brandon Whitney, the preseason all-conference Big Sky honoree. That ball was tipped. Did the shot clock go off before it went out of bounds? It did. Tennessee ball.
Yeah, just a great looking stroke there from Money, one of the all-time classic names, right? And then you come back on the other end. If you can knock down a three, I can do the same thing if you're Igor Milicic Jr.
J.P. Estrella and Jordan Gainey in for Tennessee, first off the bench. Couple of moves for Montana as well. There's Milicic again, top of the key, looking for Estrella. Sophomore big man backing up Pridgeon. Out to Mashack, another jumper. So smooth tonight so far for Mashack.
Yeah, you know, he's a smooth operator, is Jamon Mashack. Really worked on his craft all summer long and has really worked himself into a position where he can be counted on to knock down those shots.
Austin Patterson fresh into the game for the Grizzlies. That's the senior transfer from Sacramento State. A lot of new look faces on this Montana side as well. Williams, that's a giveaway. Jordan Gainey picked his pocket. Mashack. Milicic up in the air for Estrella. Big man to big man.
Yeah, I like that big to big interior passing. Didn't expect that, but you know, again, that's something that Igor can do because he has really worked himself into where he's a great shooter. You got to respect that, and then when he can dribble drive around, he can make things happen at the basket.
Igor Milicic, a transfer from Charlotte, provides a lot of versatility. Money Williams starting to feel it early.
Starting to feel it.
That's his second three. Williams, just a sophomore, all kinds of talent. Didn't get a lot of time last year, missed with injury, but averaged 13 points a game before he was out the rest of the year.
Well, some of those early NBA draft boards have him as high as the second round. So, you know, he's going to be a big-time player.
Have to circle Money Williams on the scouting sheet. Milicic, ball fake. And tries a second three-pointer, that one off the rim.
I like the ball fake there from Igor.
Tennessee by 7. Grizzlies keeping up with the physicality of Tennessee so far. 3 triples from Montana. That's where their offense has come from.
Well, talking to Coach Shakir earlier today, that's the one thing that he wanted to really emphasize, and that's the physicality of Tennessee basketball, that brand of basketball. Wanted to make sure that his guys were prepared to get hit on just about every play.
Tennessee swinging it around the perimeter. Mashack off the mark from 3. He's active to get the offensive board. Mashack, drive, his kick deflected and stolen. Patterson off the mark on his first try, deep in the Tennessee teeth, and he gets it off the glass.
Really liked that look from Patterson. Really took his time, got to the heart of the paint, and used his offhand and used the rim as a defender to keep that from being blocked.
That is a turnover for Tennessee. Fast-paced start to this game. Montana keeping up. The Vols out in front 5 early. 5-5 in the early going. First ever meeting between the Volunteers and the Grizzlies as head coach Travis DeCuire, his 11th season with the program, bring his team from Mountain Time to Eastern Time. We really had a good time talking with Coach DeCuire earlier. He has a great sense of the program history that Montana has, and he's got a great sense of these new guys that he has on this team.
Yeah, really liked that interview that we had together with Coach DeCuire. You talk about a man of integrity, a man of character, and you can see that his team really embodies that and takes on that moniker. They play with toughness and tenacity. You know, he is not afraid of these environments. He wants to bring his team into these environments because he knows that it prepares him for the rest of the season.
First time these two head coaches are able to meet today. There's Rick Barnes, already mentioned just the culture he has set in Stone at Tennessee, but been one of the more successful programs, not just in the SEC, but in the nation over the last few years, and he's coming fresh off of another SEC regular season title last season.
Yeah, you think about the number of, games that Coach Barnes, whoa, what a move, Money. What a move.
Nasty hesitation move from Money Williams. He's got 8 early.
But you talk about the amount of wins that Coach Barnes has had, whether it's winning and that elusive SEC tournament championship for the first time since 1979, winning a regular season championship a couple of times, as Zakai Ziegler does what he does and knocks down a big-time 3.
As Zakai Ziegler has been deadly from distance already, 2 for 3, that one from the left wing. Answer in the corner from Montana. Physical offensive board. That's Tajon Sawyer. Second chance life for Montana. And Money Williams. He's money again.
He is money again.
11 points for Mr. Money Williams. He's 3 for 3 from distance, 4 for 4 on the game.
Well, and that, Coach Secure was wanting him to come out of that shell tonight. And I think he's come out of the shell because right here, man, you think I'm going to go up over the right shoulder for that, but I got you on the subtle move to the basket, and then I'm going to step outside and knock down another 3.
Had a season-high 9 points in his last game against Northwestern Indiana. He has already eclipsed that. He's got 11 here now in the game's first 8 minutes. Gainey off the mark. 3-point ball game here. Grizzlies have it within 1 possession early. Steve, we were talking about that game they had against Oregon as Kai Johnson tries to tie it up. Foul on the floor will stay here. But that game against Oregon, Montana, they were in the hunt early, and they went on a near 10-minute scoring drought that just took them out of the ball game in the first half.
Yeah, not only did they go on a near 10-minute scoring drought in the first half, but it was an extended drought in the second half as well. So if you're Coach Secure and the Montana Grizzlies, you got to be happy with this start thus far here in the first half.
It's an early season road test for Tennessee. Week 1 of the season went to a packed full KFC Yum Center, took on a brand new Louisville team with Pat Kelsey at the helm. And Steve, they went wire to wire, handled that first test well.
They handled that first test very well in front of a raucous crowd. A whiteout. It was the first big opportunity for Louisville basketball to get themselves back on a map with a top 15 matchup coming into town. And Tennessee imposed their will from start to finish, Andy. And I'm talking, anything that they wanted to do on the interior, they knocked down shots on the perimeter. You look at Zakai and Chaz and Felix, what they're able to do. That trio was just a nightmare matchup for the Cardinals.
Zakai Ziegler, 11 of his 19 points came in the final 13 minutes. Struggled with turnovers in the first half, but Zakai is one of those players that, when the going gets tough, when the Cardinals started to make a bit of a run, you're going to rely on him to take over. Yeah,
the Cardinals actually, they cut the lead to 9 before Zakai stepped back, shot clock was running down, and took a logo 3, and that put the nail essentially in the coffin for the Louisville Cardinals.
Zakai Ziegler and Jemai Mashak felt like their perimeter defense set the tone right from the start. That was a Louisville team that wanted to shoot a lot of threes, and Tennessee did a great job defensively, held them just 8 of 32. Montana, they are a team with good guard play, but they don't chuck threes as much as the first 2 Tennessee opponents this season.
No, they don't chuck threes, but they run good offense. That was a great set. That kind of got Cade Phillips off of his path just a little bit.
Grizzlies down a point. 15-18 in the early going. Tennessee led wire to wire in that win over Louisville. They've only trailed for 2 of 80 minutes heading into this one. Did Ziegler get that ball off? Doesn't matter, didn't get the rim.
Yeah, you got to be happy with that defensive effort from Montana. But going back here, Cade Phillips just a little late, a little lackadaisical getting back, getting your hands up. Make sure, when you're coming out of that pick and roll as a defender, man, you got to keep those hands high to create, hopefully a deflection.
Tennessee in the all-out full-court press. 9 minutes into this one, they lead by 1. Montana led for 12 seconds. early in the very early beginning stages. They were up 3-2, but other than that, Tennessee, they have led for 78 of 80 minutes coming into tonight.
Yeah, Montana really getting what they want. They're taking their time, getting the shot clock down, running good offense, and there you see it. You move the ball back and forth. That's a really good look.
Sawyer off the mark. Ziegler looking the other way. Jazz Lanier had the team's first 2 points, has not taken a shot since. Fumbles the ball, lost it. It's going to stay Tennessee.
Going back to shoot around, Coach DeCuire wanted to make sure that Tennessee was extremely uncomfortable when it came to the pick and roll action there. He wanted to make sure that their bigs were out on an early hedge and pushed out the guards as much as possible.
Pressure top the key on Ziegler. Here's Phillips, baseline, good drive, and a foul on the Grizzlies. Should send Phillips to the line.
When you look at Zakai Ziegler, he was a little animated there because I think he wanted Cade to get up and try to dunk that as much as possible.
And frustration from Phillips as well. We've seen a Cade Phillips emergence first week of the season. This is a sophomore forward who played just 78 minutes his freshman year. He logged 41 total minutes in his first 2 games this season.
Well, he's becoming more and more comfortable in the offense and in the defense, just figuring out what Coach Barnes needs from him on a nightly basis.
Knock down the gimmies at the line, and an empty possession there for Tennessee. Grizzlies have a chance to take a lead. Monty Williams has been the go-to offensively. Inside, Joe Pridgeon, Brandon Whitney. Williams tops the key, and that's his first miss.
First miss, but again, good offense. Get it deep into the shot clock. Get it to your best player.
Lanier driving on Williams, and an offensive foul.
Monty Williams, man, playing defense as well as he's playing offense. Yeah, I mean, definitely Jazz Lanier got that chicken wing out, extended it just a little bit. And maybe Monty sold it, but I think that's a great call.
A turnover on Tennessee. No points for the Volunteers in the last 3 minutes on a bit of a scoring drought here. Another chance for Montana to take the lead. Pridgeon a bit out of control on the drive.
Not the look that you want. If you're Pridgeon, you want to play off of 2 feet, jump stop in the paint, and reverse that basketball.
Meshack, right wing drive. Cam Carr in the game. There's Meshack, contact to the line.
Good extra pass from Cam Carr there to Javon Meshack to get him 2 shots at the charity stripe.
Both these teams trying to get familiar with this brand new roster. Tennessee, they lose 4 of 5 starters from last season. Same on the other end for Montana. They've got 6 new Grizzlies that are in this rotation. In these early season games, you're just trying to find that rhythm.
Well, you're trying to find the rhythm and you're trying to find the chemistry if you're both coaches. And that's something that Coach DeCuire with Montana talked about today. You know, it's hard, especially in this climate of the transfer portal, to build a collective unit. I mean, you had a virtual mass unit of players that were out for one reason or another. Monty Williams is just now getting himself back into playing shape.
Yeah, Coach DeCuire mentioned a lot of these guys have been in and out this summer, dealing with injuries, away with family. And then you talk about Monty Williams, he missed a lot of last season as well. So a guy like Monty Williams has all the talent in the world. They think he can be everything that maybe NBA scouts are hoping he can be and more for this program. But it's just about logging those hours. Still so inexperienced on the court.
Yeah, so inexperienced on the court. And when you look at somebody like a Monty Williams, you know, with the transfer portal, undoubtedly a guy of his worth, a guy of his ilk, if he doesn't go on to the NBA, Coach is going to be calling over the summer to try to get him away from Montana. But I think you've got the right culture in Coach DeCuire and what he's trying to do out in Montana.
Hey, look across college basketball. Every coach is having to almost remodel their team every single year. Coach Barnes obviously bringing in a fantastic class to the portal. Watched Kentucky and Duke last night. Coach Pope and the Wildcats, that's a completely new 14-man roster.
Well, and it used to be the norm with Kentucky, you know, having new guys playing at the NBA level. What a scrap there here on the ground. That's a great job of both teams getting after it. But you look at this replay here. There's the cardinal sin for a big guy right there. You bring the ball down between your knees. There's no need to do that. If you're Felix Akpar, man, you turn around, square those shoulders, chin the ball, and sometimes defenders are going to run into an elbow and they're going to back off.
We saw a lot of offense early in this game, but right now defense and physicality has started to take over. No field goals for Montana in the last 3 minutes. No field goals for Tennessee in the last 4. Okpara caught in the air. Monty Williams trying to force it inside.
Great help side defense from Tennessee.
Tennessee looking for a field goal. It's almost been 5 minutes. Milicic, how about the spin cycle?
Wow. Man, it is the season of giving, Thanksgiving. Man, and I'm telling you what, Coach Barnes is happy about the product that he's seeing from Igor Milicic. Man, he's thankful to have it.
Hails from Croatia, experience with the Polish national team, and you just saw the versatility on display. Do a little bit of everything for Rick Barnes and crew. He's up high for that rebound. It's going to go Tennessee way. Igor Milicic putting on a show for us.
Yeah, you look at this. It's a great defense here, help side defense. Felix Akpar leading the break, which gives you a spin cycle move from Igor.
Early in this ball game, Montana, they've been showing us the money, and it's been Monty Williams leading the way. 11 points. We've seen it inside. We've seen it outside. 3 3-pointers. He leads the way with 11.
Yeah, he leads the way with 11, 3 out of 4 3-pointers. And, man, he is off to an absolutely torrid start. Just a pure shooter, right? You know, he gets that shot to where he wants to get it in terms of his spot, the sweet spot. And, man, if you're Tennessee, you better learn to close out on this kid because, man, I think he's finding his rhythm just in time for Coach Secure.
His fourth start of the year, he was shooting just 21% coming into tonight, but he has been on fire to start. I mean, Monty Williams got us talking, Steve. He said, you know, what are some of the best names in college basketball? Monty Williams got to be up there. Right there, maybe close with Tennessee Rainwater, right? Supreme Cook. Always right.
I mean, that's classic, man. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Make your pick. Which
man,
one do you like?
You know, I got to go with Tennessee Rainwater.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a little nod to Tennessee. But at the same time, man, your Rainwater, Tennessee Rainwater?
It feels right.
Right.
And it feels like Tennessee fans would embrace Tennessee Rainwater if he ever made his way to Knoxville.
Yeah.
Monty Williams certainly is in that short list of best names in basketball. Almost had a breakaway dunk.
Almost had a breakaway steal there, and that is unforgivable if you're Tennessee. I mean, that's just a lackadaisical pass there, man. You got to make sure that you got an open avenue to make those passes because Montana's playing really aggressive, and they're jumping the gaps.
6 turnovers for Tennessee here in about the first 13 minutes of this ball game. Right out of the break as well. Both teams on a bit of a scoring drought. Igor Milicic ended Tennessee's before the break, but we've seen the physicality step up a notch.
Yeah, Montana doesn't have any field goals for nearly 4.5 minutes, which is something that was problematic against Oregon. You know, they're hanging around this basketball game. But if you're Tennessee, you have a decisive and a decided size advantage here that you're not taking advantage of. I mean, you've got guys, and I know that Felix Akpar just checked out, but, man, you should be able to impose your will on the interior, and that's something that Tennessee hasn't done enough tonight.
Tennessee, they were dominant in the paint from Louisville on Saturday, 40-10 in the points in the paint category. It's a Tennessee team that, yes, they do shoot the three, and they have sharpshooters across the board, but the way they go is by getting the ball inside to get those open shots, correct?
Get the open shots, man. You know, I'm a firm believer in playing inside out, making the defense work. Oh, what a pass.
Monty Williams showing the dimes as well. Woo. Beautiful feed.
What a pass. Little pocket pass there.
Seeing all the moves from Williams. Big time assist to finally get Montana back in the score sheet. It had been nearly 4 minutes there. Grizzlies back within 4. Milicic, backdoor pass to Carr. He went up high. Earned some contact in 2 shots.
Yeah, also a great pass there from Igor to spring Cam. And I thought Cam was going to go up and finish that. But you go back on the other end. Now you look at this pass coming off of a curl screen. Cade Phillips loses his man. And an easy 2.
Yeah, Monty Williams is on some draft boards. Potential second-round prospect out of the Big Sky. But again, just like a lot of scouts, you haven't seen as much footage on the guy. He's showing you a lot of different facets of his game.
Yeah, if you're an NBA scout, you know, don't look at that baby face and think that this kid can't play, man. That's a baby face assassin right there. He's got a lot of tools in the tool belt. He can shoot it from the perimeter. Obviously, he's a great passer, and he's going to become more and more skilled as he gets more and more experience.
Tennessee making a living right now at the free throw line. 8 of 10 in the first half. They up their advantage to 6. Kai Johnson hit a 3 earlier. Feeding it inside. Tajon Sawyer battling with Cade Phillips. Got it to go for 2.
Great offensive set. Got Sawyer right on the block. Utilized that size and girth. Great offense.
Mashack. Back up top, Cam Carr, sophomore, 2 points at the line, and now Milicic, who's looked confident in this game. He's got 9. Carr feed to Phillips, smooth layup.
I like that combination with Cam and Cade. Little pick and roll on the perimeter. Great pass from Cam to spring Cade wide open for the finish.
Williams left open, right wing. Contact, and that's going to be 3 shots for Monty Williams.
That's going to be 3 shots for Monty Williams, and that may spell an exit for Cam Carr, because that's one of those fouls that you cannot afford to have. Okay, you want to close out short and make sure you extend the hands. Just contest the shot.
Coach Barnes telling him the same thing right now. It's a Tennessee team with 3 sophomores who in the program last year who are now expected to contribute in this rotation and give good minutes. Cam Carr, very talented. Coach Barnes says out of him, you know, just looking for that consistency. And if you're going to play for Coach Barnes, you got to play defense.
Well, and Cam is so incredibly athletic and very talented. You're just waiting for that moment that you know, that light illuminates and it comes on and it clicks for him to play, you know, defense as well as he can play offensively.
Timeout, Montana.
Well, Monty Williams, 3 for 3 at the line. He's got a quick 14 points in this one. It'll be a timeout for Montana. Coach DeCuire talk things over. Tennessee team up by 3 in the early going. Again, we mentioned that wire-to-wire win against Louisville, but it didn't come without complications. And at Tennessee, they shot well, dominance in the paint and from the arc, but it felt like defense was, again, the bread and butter for Tennessee, as it always has been.
It always has been. And Andy, you know, you go back and you look at the stat sheet, you know, it's a rare occurrence when a team wins by 22 and your point guard has 10 turnovers. Now, I will say, you got to give Zakai credit. He had 1 block shot, so maybe that canceled out a few of those turnovers. But to go away and win in that fashion, in that environment, very impressive. But you know who that didn't impress? Montana, because they came to play tonight.
It's a Montana team with a plethora of guards, you know, some with experience, some without. But that's the question, you know, how do you game plan for defenders like Jahmai Mashack and Zakai Zeigler, who really their skill is that one-on-one matchup. You know coming into this, anytime you go against Tennessee, it's going to be physical. You have to embrace that.
You got to embrace the physicality. You got to embrace the toughness.
Tennessee year in and year out, right up there at the top. KenPom list of defensive efficiency. Felix Okpara is going to be a great addition for the Vols from Ohio State. Interior defense-wise, that was a good offensive.
Yeah, he can do that, right? You know, he's not going to step out and knock down a 10 to 15 footer, but he can really establish his presence on that block, turn over either shoulder with a soft jump hook, and knock the shot down.
Five on the shot clock. Pridgeon in the corner. Up on Milicic. Contact and a foul. 2 shots for Montana.
That's the best case scenario. Again, if you're Coach Shakir and the Grizzlies, you utilize just about every single second of the shot clock. You worked your offense, you got the matchup that you wanted, and you were able to not finish, but get yourself to the free throw line.
It will be Joe Pridgeon, 5th-year transfer from Northeastern. He's made a lot of stops, a journeyman. This is his 4th stop. A guy that brings a lot of career starts, 65 entering this season. A lot of new pieces for Montana, 6 different Grizzlies in the rotation that have never worn this jersey before. Coach Shakir said, hey, chemistry is great. They like each other, but again, it's that cohesiveness on the court. You get the feeling playing in that tough road atmosphere at Oregon that has to have you more prepared this go around.
It's going to pay dividends when you play in an environment like that. It's naturally going to play dividend because your kids, your student athletes, need to be exposed to those type of environments because, again, it's going to bode well when you start your conference play. If you can play at Oregon, if you can play here on the Summit, you can play anywhere.
Cam Carr, 3. Off the mark. Milicic fighting the board for the Grizzlies.
Another good defensive effort from Montana.
And the Monty Williams show offensively. There he goes into the lane. Dump off to Sawyer. Mashack and Okpara all over it. Jemai rips it right away. Other end, coast to coast. Can't get the touch.
Great defensive effort from Jemai Mashack there on the defensive end, and I don't mind that take. You know, he's got that ability as well to get to the heart of the paint and finish.
Williams, left corner, trying to get around Gainey and a foul called. Few Vols in foul trouble. That's Jordan Gainey's first, but Zakai Ziegler, Chaz Lanier, both with a pair of fouls. The Grizzlies putting some pressure on Tennessee early. Under 4 break, it's a 4-point game in Knoxville. 11th ranked Tennessee, certainly they've got their hands full with the Big Sky Montana Grizzlies team in town. Back here in Knoxville, Steve Hamer, VFL, Andy Brock. We're bringing us back on camera here because we got a big day. Steve Hamer, it's his birthday, so we want to say happy birthday, Steve.
I appreciate that. It's been a fantastic day, man. You know, another trip around the sun. Get to spend some time with a good friend of mine, Andy Brock.
Oh, man.
Doing what we love to do best, man. And thank you guys so very much for the birthday wishes. Love and appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.
I was about to say, out of all the years you've spent with this program, how cool is it you're now on the other side of things? You get to spend a day like this here at a place that you know very well.
I love this place, and you know, it means so very much to me. You know, I know that we're supposed to be impartial here, but man, I've got a lot of affinity for Rocky Top and all the great memories that were made here. And to be doing this on my birthday, it's an extra special gift.
Steve's son Malachi also with the Tennessee basketball program as a student manager. You got to see him pregame as well. Yeah, we got a little pregame ritual. You know, he comes over and we chat it up just a little bit. Don't usually talk about basketball that much. We just talk about the day and how he's doing. I'm a little jealous. He's going to the Bahamas with Tennessee basketball next week. So, without you didn't get the invite, not even for your birthday? I did not get the invite for my birthday, but I hope that he has a wonderful time. I hear that you may be making a trip as well to the Bahamas. Maybe. Well, again, Steve, happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No place we'd rather be, right?
That's exactly right.
2-point game here down the stretch in the half. Jordan Gainey fighting for the ball. What's the signal? Jump ball? Stay Tennessee's way.
Yeah, it's going to stay Tennessee's basketball. And I really like that decisiveness there to get that ball into Felix Akpar. Felix Akpar planted himself deep into the semicircle there. But he, again, if there's one thing that he can really improve upon is not bringing the ball down. Again, you know, it was stripped away. If you keep it high, odds are they're not going to be able to get to it.
Okpara inside a mismatch. Patterson having to go up against 6'11" Okpara. Patterson just 6'3". Felix will head to the line.
Good offensive set there. You seek out the mismatch. Obviously, the ball gets reversed there. You take your time, and then you go up strong with it.
Felix Okpara, shooting 2.
Tennessee shooting 59% from the floor. They've made a lot of progress at the free throw line. Again, that physicality, you see that on the offensive end as well, and you get rewarded with these shots right here.
You get rewarded, and Felix Okpara is just going to get better and better. He's still a pup, right? You know, was an exceedingly good shot blocker at Ohio State. He's going to be asked to do a little bit more here at Tennessee this year and years to come. So he is going to be a much-needed asset for the Tennessee Volunteers moving forward.
Okpara struggled in game 1. Had just 2 points, 0 of 3 from the floor, but was really good, really strong against Louisville, 10 points, 4 of 4. Okpara dealing with a bit of a hip pointer as well, trying to get back to full health. Seemed fresh on Saturday. Williams out to Patterson. Ziegler really closed the gap on that quickly.
Closed the gap there and did it without fouling. You know, Tennessee fans sometimes wonder what is Tennessee going to do when Zakai Ziegler gets in the foul trouble, where early on you see what Tennessee's going to go with. He's getting more and more comfortable in terms of Bishop Boswell getting his moments here early on in this basketball game. Look for big things from him. Great finish again from Igor.
Zakai Ziegler and Chaz Lanier both sitting for a lot of this half on 2 fouls. Igor Milicic struggled with fouls Saturday against Louisville. He has taken over in the meantime today. Milicic has 11, 3 of 4 from the floor, and another one, a 3 from the corner. It's all Igor tonight.
Hey, Igor, I'm going to tell you, the way that he catches that, it just goes right up with it, man. That's reminiscent of some great, great shooters who just get it off really, really quickly. You look at this drive, little head and shoulders fake, get up to the basket, and then I can do it inside and out with a great looking stroke from beyond the arc.
It's a 7-0 run for Tennessee, and defensively on the other end, they've held Montana without a point for almost 4 minutes now. And obviously, Igor has been a huge part of that.
He's been a huge part of that. And again, there's that telltale sign for Montana. Remember, we talked about the Oregon game where they had those extended droughts. Well, they've already had one 3.5-minute drought. Now they're on their second 3.5-minute drought. That spells disaster, especially as well as you played, Andy, here in the first half.
Over Tennessee last season, they relied so much on Dalton Knecht, obviously SEC Player of the Year, first-team All-American, averaged nearly 22 points a game. And a lot of questions. Can you find that guy? We've seen different guys step up nearly every game for Tennessee so far. They have a lot of guys that can be that guy. So you don't necessarily need that one go-to scorer. It's good to have, but it feels like a lot of these guys can be that person.
Yeah, you know, what you lost singularly, you gain collectively, because all of these guys can play.
Gainey went hard to the rim, a bit short on that finish.
Don't mind that drive, though, Andy. Sometimes you got to force the contact. He did not get the benefit of the call, but still, great drive.
Wide open underneath, Amari Judkins was left alone. That was much needed for Montana. It had been over 4 minutes of action without a field goal. Ziegler back in with 2 fouls, steps on the baseline. That's a turnover.
Tennessee crowd thought that he was kind of ridden out of bounds there just a little bit. But I like the fact that the officials are, for the most part, letting them play. It's a physical basketball game. As we get a look here, he indeed stepped out of bounds.
Ziegler wanting the foul call. Now, Travis DeCuire mentioned it's going to be much different, this Tennessee team, than all of the Big Sky opponents they play. One is just for how physical Tennessee is, but typically, refs will let them play a little bit more. SEC officiating a little bit different from Big Sky officiating. It's just completely different styles.
Completely different style. The hand checking, and Coach DeCuire mentioned that a couple of times in the shoot around today, that he was a little worried about his team in terms of could they withstand the hand checking on the perimeter and how the game was going to be dictated from the three officials.
Monty Williams now with 2 fouls as he got tangled up with Ziegler.
If I'm Coach DeCuire, I'm letting him play, right? What do you got to lose at this point? I'm letting Money continue to play, but it looks like he's going to be taken out of the game, get a little breather here, but he's off to such a torrid start that you really are going to miss what he is going to give you on the offensive end.
Ziegler still played 13 minutes despite sitting with 2 fouls. Chaz Lanier only 8 minutes here in this first half. Again, he dealing with 2 fouls as well. Jemai Mashack back in for Ziegler. Bishop Boswell in the game for Tennessee. That's a true freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Whitney yet to get in the score column. That's a go-to scorer for Montana.
That's a tough look.
Shot no good. Gainey is there on the rebound.
If you're Montana, that's a really tough look. You like what they've been doing all along in the first half, getting to the spots, running good sets.
Boswell lost it. Pridgeon the other way, and then he 2-on-1. Gainey flies out of nowhere for the swat.
Was that a chase down a la LeBron James from Gainey? Bishop Boswell gets stripped on one end. I think that is a chase down. We got to give him credit for that. Great effort from Gainey.
That's an aspect of his game he's improved tremendously. Defensive end in year 2 with Tennessee. USC upstate transfer last season. A minute to go here in half number 1. Johnson driving on Boswell. Good ball movement from Montana. The 3 off the mark from Pridgeon.
That's really good ball movement. In it with a hammer pass that didn't work, didn't finish with a 3-pointer.
Boswell top of the key. Ziegler dealing with 2 fouls. Mashack, baseline. Gainey, good pump fake, wide open jumper. Can't hit. Okpara board, lost it. Shot clock off for Montana.
Montana is right where they want to be. The game is within 9 points with an opportunity to cut it down to 6 or 7.
No Money Williams. Who do you go to? Your 5th-year guard Whitney with the ball. Johnson on the drive, did not get it off. That's the half. Tennessee by 9. Very physical first half, Steve.
Love the physicality in the first half. They're letting both teams play, which is a good brand of basketball. This is what the fans want to see. Great first half from both teams.
Another 20 on the way from Knoxville. It's Volunteers by 9 after 1. Time to roll for the second half here on Rocky Top. 9-point Tennessee advantage. Grizzlies and Vols meeting for the first time. As we welcome you back in, Steve Hamer, former VFL. Andy Brock back with you, Steve. It was a really close contest at the beginning. Tennessee, they ended that first half on a 9-2 run and created a bit of separation, but Montana really giving Tennessee some fits.
Early onslaught from Tennessee were able to punch and counter punch and keep the game close especially because of the guy that we're going to talk about in a few seconds, Money Williams.
Yeah, Money Williams really took things over with Montana. Igor Milicic on the other end for Tennessee. Zakai Ziegler, Chaz Lanier in foul trouble. It was the Igor show.
Yeah, sometimes you look for your best players and they're on the bench. And you have the emergence of someone like an Igor Milicic who says, man, I can be in that tandem as well of being a player that's going to be counted on.
14 points for Igor. Then on the other end, Money Williams, 16 points.
Money Williams, man, just had his bag. I'm telling you, this little hezzy right there with the left-hand finish, smooth stroke from the perimeter. The kid can flat out play, and there's a reason why he's on a lot of draft boards.
3 of 4 from 3, had a pair of assists as well. There's the first half by the numbers. Again, Tennessee closed that first half on a good run, but physicality has been at the forefront. Both these teams playing hard. It's just week 2 of the season, Steve, but we're seeing some all-out, fast-paced basketball.
We're seeing some fast-paced basketball, and, you know, it's going to be a matter of right now coming out who can win this first segment, this first brief period, the 4-minute period here in the second half. That's really a telltale sign of who's going to walk away with a victory.
Joe Pridgeon inside and a good tempo setter for Montana right out of the gates.
Yeah, Joe Pridgeon, I mean, that was a really good set. They moved the ball around the perimeter, got the mismatch that they wanted, and went to work.
First field goal for Pridgeon, and now Chaz Lanier back in the game. Just 2 points in the first half, only played 8 minutes. Picked up 2 fouls fairly early. Lanier on the drive. He is fouled.
Ty Johnson.
Looking at this replay, man, that's a good set. You moved the ball around the perimeter, and you were able to elude Igor Milicic. And Felix Akbar was a non-factor because of the rim there.
Pridgeon, the 5th-year guard. Grad transfer out of Northeastern. Okpara inside. A good answer and one. That's
a really good set. You know, if there's one thing that Coach Barnes does well, and he does a plethora, a cornucopia of things well, but man, he has those baseline out-of-bounds plays that oftentimes ends with a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer or a dunk.
Okpara is going to bring so much for Tennessee. Defensively, fantastic rim protector, one of the best shot blockers in the nation last season. And if he can really hone in that offensive game, 10 points against Louisville, he could be really dangerous come SEC play.
Yeah, and he's going to become more and more comfortable, Andy. You know, again, you talk about chemistry. It's getting to know your teammates and them finding you on your sweet spot. So he's going to be better and better as the season goes along.
Money Williams' first attempt, second half off the back iron. Tennessee has pushed it now to 10. Lanier, quick fire.
That's what he does so well. And again, Tennessee shoots the ball exceptionally well in transition. You got to get back if you're the Grizzlies and find those guys that can shoot it very, very quickly.
First 3-point attempt for Lanier. And he knocks it in. And a good drive, good answer. Montana Money Williams missed one shot to start the half, but got right back to it.
Man, I like that, what you just called him, Montana Money Williams. I like that. You should coin that.
Montana Money. Didn't even mean it. Now, new nickname. Lanier again. Off the mark that time. Couldn't go back-to-back triples.
Really don't mind that shot because right here he steps into it, a little right, left, get the puppy set, and then Money Williams just comes down, man, and just reverses it with the left hand with a little English off the glass.
Talking about Chaz Lanier, 18 in game 1 against Gardner-Webb, 19 against Louisville. He shot really well to start the season in games. He struggled a bit in that exhibition, and part of the response from his team was that we want Chaz to shoot these threes. We see how good he is in practice and how good he's been across his career coming from North Florida.
And I think you really have to, nice finish from Igor Milicic streaking the paint. I think you got to give Indiana some credit for that too, right? Both teams struggled to shoot the ball in that exhibition. It was really a preview of perhaps 2 teams that are going to play into the second and third weekends in the NCAA tournament.
A drive and a swat. Okpara, full force rejection. Whitney left all alone. It's about as wide open as you can be, and he can't hit.
Yeah, maybe a little too wide open on that shot.
Haven't seen much of Brandon Whitney, just 1 point. He is the go-to for Montana.
You look at this replay, Igor, great find. Igor looking ahead, and then on the defensive end, that's what Felix Okpara does best. Just a rim protector. Tennessee's kind of missed that over the last few seasons. This is what he brings to the table.
Zakai Ziegler took a bit of a shot. Looks like he got hit in the face and then had to step aside.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough guy, but even an elbow like that is going to sideline you for a bit.
Almost an uppercut right there.
Lanier underneath the basket, showing off his arsenal as a guy that can score from every dimension.
And it was a good decision not to go up with that shot right away. Took his time and got the better shot.
The big man Sawyer from deep, way off the mark. Now Lanier, he's finding his groove, just 2 points in the first half. He's up to 5 in the second, and another three.
If you're if you're coaching Montana right now, it looks like he's going to let them play through it. But I think you probably want to give them a breather, reset. Tennessee's getting a little hotter right now. But he's going to let them play through it.
13-2 run for Tennessee. And it's been Chaz Lanier really fueling this second half spurt for the Vols. Inside, and Montana will earn 2 shots. Chaz Lanier, only 8 minutes of game time in the first half. Absolutely taking over.
Jamal Meshack may have taken a shot there as well. Chaz Lanier passed up that look right there because of the shot blocker and was able to extend just a little bit, and then, you know, he does what he does best, knocking down the perimeter three.
Lanier this season, 9 for 15 from beyond the arc. That is fantastic.
Zakai Ziegler showing no worse for the wear, coming back in. You can't keep a tough kid from New York out of the basketball game. It's going to take much more than that to knock him out.
That's the SEC Defensive Player of the Year reigning from last season. One of the best point guards in the nation here in his senior year. 4th year on Rocky Top. He's been a starter, or if not a 6-man, playing about 30 minutes a game his entire career. Look out! Okpara sky high.
That's what they were missing. That created a bunch of those turnovers for Zakai Ziegler, you know, for the majority of the game against Louisville. But there, you see the connection, the timing is there.
It's Tennessee by 19. Williams, no good. Ziegler pushing it forward. Ziegler again, Okpara. And a foul before he could grab it. Felix Okpara, he can get a lot higher than others.
Man, I only dream about jumping that high. That young fella can get up and put it down. Great job.
Tennessee has pushed their advantage to 19, and a large part of that has been Chaz Lanier in the second half. 8 points already and 2 big threes.
2 big threes, and Chaz Lanier in nearly 7 minutes and 29 seconds only had 1 field goal attempt. He made that in the first half. Well, it's a bit of reversal of fortune here in the second half as he is 4 of 5, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, and just a knockdown shooter. Chaz Lanier brings so much to the table. You know, he's a veteran, Andy, and he's been through the wars, and he's going to help propel Tennessee to where they want to be in the Southeastern Conference.
We had Chaz Lanier, a first-team All-A-Sun with North Florida last year, and his three-point percentage was at 44%, so you knew what he could do from distance and the ability he had as an efficient scorer. You pair him with other scoring threats that Tennessee has in this team and a powerful point guard, Zakai Ziegler. A lot of options you can get.
A lot of options, and you know, we forget sometimes about a Gainey. That can absolutely fill it up. And we talked about this a little bit in the first half. But what makes this Tennessee team so special is that someone different can do it on a nightly basis. And when you get all these guys clicking on the same cylinder, it's a dangerous basketball team.
And Coach Barnes, certainly, he puts his transfers through the full ringer when they get here. You're a good scorer like Lanier. That's not going to be enough. You have to play defense. It's those guys that are learning the defense. That's who he's going to be the hardest on in practice, and especially guys like Lanier, like Dalton Knecht, who can score. He just wants to get the best out of them.
Yeah, and that's why guys want to come here. They want to be challenged. They want to get better on the defensive end and get better particularly on the offensive end as well. But, you know, Coach Barnes, true to form, if you don't play defense, you're just not going to play. And you look back at that exhibition matchup against Indiana, Chaz Lanier, the sixth man coming off the bench. You didn't start.
Lanier, Nashville native, returns back to his home state after 4 great years of North Florida. A really talented North Florida program. Sawyer spin move off the iron.
Sawyer's really a good-looking player, man.
Grizzlies come up empty. Okpara the other way. Can't get the bounce off the rim.
Okpara sometimes has trouble catching the ball cleanly. Caught it there, just didn't finish.
Williams inside had to go up against Phillips and Okpara. And will draw some contact. Montana, they just need to slow things down here. One of their last 8 from the floor. Haven't hit a shot in 4 minutes.
Montana money. I got news for you, Andy. He's going to be trouble in the Big Sky Conference. You better not sleep on this kid because he's got all the moves, man. Shaking, baking, shooting the 3, getting to the 10 at will.
And the aspect about this Montana culture that Travis DeCuire has created, he has to be going up against a really physical Tennessee team, very talented. Do you change anything? And he was very quick to say, no, we've got our style. I can't tell these guys to be any different than who they are. We're going to keep doing our thing, and we think it's going to pay dividends by the end of the season.
And that's why kids love to play for Coach DeCuire, because he's not going to change his style. He's not going to change up who he is just to appease someone. Man, if you're going to come to Montana, you got to play tough and be physical. There's a reason why they're preseason picked first in the Big Sky.
The coaches tend to come and go from the Big Sky Conference, but Travis DeCuire in season 11, and he's been 500 in all 10 of his prior years or above. Chaz Lanier continues to be scorching hot in the second.
Man, just really, really hot. Tennessee ran a set. I don't know that that was necessarily supposed to get into his hands, but when you're that hot, man, speaking of hot.
Money Williams again, he's up to 22 and one to answer.
Tennessee's looking for an answer just to shut him down. He is getting to the spot. But here, sometimes you just got to get those feet set and pull up with a knockdown 3. Wow. That's just a great articulation of the body from Money Williams. Really, really nice player.
And again, for Money, this is just collegiate game number 16 of his career, so you feel like the sky's the limit. Tennessee by 18. Okpara getting involved, and that's so smooth with one hand.
Really smooth with one hand. He goes up at the highest point and releases it, almost shooting down at the rim sometimes, Andy.
Really impressive finish. Okpara now 11 points and has been much more effective than his home debut last week, went 0 for 3, 4 for 5 tonight. Pridgeon, nice move on Ziegler. There's Okpara again, making him uncomfortable, affecting the shot.
Didn't block the shot, but really altered it.
Milicic saw a lot of him in the first half. A three from the wing off the mark.
Again, a good look. Don't mind that. Utilize the head and shoulders, taking a slide step to get a much better look as he was open.
Jetkins, free throw line, hands it off to Williams, and right now Montana feeding the beast.
Really good offense to get Felix Akpar right where he wanted to be. And then here, might have gotten a piece of that, but man, you know, it's just, it's nightmares, guys. When guys go into the paint looking for a clear path, and you got the ultimate shot blocker with that arm span that Felix Akpar has.
Steve, you're a big man. You played in the SEC. You know, what does it take to, you know, survive in this conference, being at this height and how physical you have to be, but also you still have to have that smooth touch at the rim.
You really do have to have a smooth touch, and Akpar is getting better and better. Again, we mentioned that his hands are getting better. You know, Andy, people often wonder, well, how, and as simplistic as it may seem, how do you catch a basketball? Is it you see it with your eyes, you catch it with your eyes. And he's got to do a better job of that, because they're going to need him. You know, when they play that murderer's row schedule of Auburn and Arkansas and Kentucky, they're going to need him to score, you know, big time.
Milicic can't hit. It's from the left corner. You know, Kai Johnson the other way for Montana. Grizzlies back at 19. One of their last 8 from the floor. Williams has done a good job of getting to the free throw line. And a hand check call on Jahmai Mashack.
This is the matchup I want to see now. Jahmai Mashack on money. You know, you got their best offensive threat, and you got a shutdown defender in Jahmai Mashack.
You talking about getting yourself prepared. Well, Monty Williams is not going to have to go up against many defenders like Jahmai Mashack in the Big Sky.
And that's no knock against the Big Sky, right?
No.
Very talented league.
That ball is loose. Milicic has it, quickly running the other way. Here's Cam Carr to the rim. And a soft layup off the glass.
Like the handles from Igor Milicic. And Cam Carr running the floor using athleticism to get an easy bucket.
This is the thing, Igor Milicic stands at 6'10", but he ran the floor there like a point guard. And Tennessee ups the lead back to 21.
Yeah, you look at this steal on one hand and push the ball out in front of you. Igor Milicic, you find an open Cam Carr for the strong finish at the rim.
Food City Center in Knoxville. It's all Tennessee here in the second half, outscoring Montana 22-10 out of the locker room break. It's men's basketball. It's Tennessee. So one constant you are going to see here is Bob Kessling and the Vol Network crew on the sideline. There's Bob. He announced his retirement of a long, fantastic career with the Vol Network last week. 26 years as the voice of the Vols, but Steve, it's been 50 or so years just doing all kinds of different assignments with University of Tennessee and the Vol Network. You've gotten to work closely alongside him, just an incredible professional and a mentor to a lot of people.
Well, he's been the consummate professional. He does it the right way. His preparation, his work ethic is just second to none. I am just blessed to be able to work alongside of him for some of Tennessee basketball road trips over the previous years and some upcoming games this season. Man, there's just simply none better than the illustrious Bob Kessling.
Yeah, the duo of Bob Kessling and Bert Bertelkamp is iconic, and Steve Hamer getting to fill in for some of those as well. And of course, Bob meant so much to the Vol Network. It's one last season with Rick Barnes and company. Of course, he wants to go out on top, and Rick Barnes feels like he has the crew to do so. Again, a Tennessee team that went to the Elite Eight last year. And right now showing off a lot of these new pieces tonight.
Yeah, not only is he the voice of the Vols for Tennessee basketball, but he's also the voice of the Vols for football as well.
Right.
And, you know, Tennessee might have the right pieces in place to make a deep run. I think the committee might have shortchanged the Vols just a little bit last night. But you know, the reality is that Bob Kesling has done it so incredibly well for so many years. Kudos to him for a fantastic career.
He is in the busiest season of life right here in November. He's calling games in Louisville Saturday morning and then going all the way back to Knoxville. Really quick turnaround for game against Mississippi State football. How about that?
Yeah, was a little afraid that we weren't going to get Bob back in time. Was delay in the flight getting back from a different destination into Louisville to pick up the team to get him back, and was able to get Bob back over to the stadium to call a great game.
Well, again, congratulations to Bob Kesling. Very humble, so you have to give him a shout out, him and all the Ball Network crew. He's got what he hopes a lot of games here for Tennessee basketball this season as they still early into this year. Meshack, a floater. Nice finish for the experienced vet.
Yeah, nice finish from Jamon Meshack. Again, he's adding that to the repertoire to be able to utilize 1-2 dribbles, get to the heart of the paint and put it up.
Tennessee back in front, 21. Williams trying to get free. They have Meshack ISO'd on him.
You look at Meshack again, utilize 2 dribbles with the left hand and get into the paint to a shot that he wanted.
8 points for Jahmai Meshack tonight. Kai Johnson, a 3, rattles away. Meshack.
Kai Johnson made his first 3 of the game and really has been quieted by this Tennessee defense for the most part.
Ziegler, a 3, left wing. Nails it.
This is why Tennessee's so good. You know, Montana really made them play hard in the first half, and then Tennessee just pulls away with all of the weapons that they've got in their arsenal.
Johnson finding Whitney in the corner. Top of the key, ball fake has Estrella in the air. Smooth finish for Zach Davidson.
Good finish from Zach Davidson. Looks like he blew a tire there,
lost
though.
a shoe in the process. Tennessee has a 5-on-4 advantage. Estrella earned 2 shots at the line.
Right decision to find Estrella getting to the basket. Good head and shoulders fake there from Igor Milicic. And Zakai, man, he is ever ready, Andy, to take the shot and to knock it down.
Yeah, Zakai Ziegler, 3 of 4 beyond the arc. 11 points for the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC. He obviously is known for his passing ability as well. 3 assists. He also has 6 rebounds tonight.
Doing it on both ends of the floor.
Ziegler now up to 491 assists. That is now tied for 5th program history, and that's, I'm sure, a number that will continue to rise as the season progresses. That ball is thrown away. Sawyer a bit wide for Whitney.
I think it's definitely the right idea. Cross-court pass, make the defense move. Pass just wasn't there.
Lanier on the drive. Effective move to the rim. Estrella cleans it up.
I love the drive by Chassanier, absorb the contact, but you got somebody like J.P. Estrella, man, that can really get up. He's athletic.
Estrella not 100% heading into week 1 last week. Still trying to get back to full health. Has dealt with a couple of different injuries. Looked really good on that putback there.
And he's going to be counted on to do more and more this season. To spell someone like Felix Okpara can give you invaluable minutes.
Williams is off the mark. Milicic with the board. Ziegler, head full of steam. Estrella on the lob.
Wow. I mean, that is the one thing that was really missing in the Louisville game. But here in this game, I'm telling you, man, Zakai Ziegler, it wasn't going to be long before you see that chemistry between he and the big guys. Zakai Ziegler to J.P. Estrella on the finish.
Tennessee's been on a tear in this second half. We've seen Zakai offensively really lead the charge. A pair of oops have brought the house down.
A pair of oops has really brought the house down and gave the fans just a glimpse of what they're going to see this basketball season. As you see there with 492 career assists, fifth alone by himself in Tennessee basketball history. Zakai Ziegler. What more can you say about the kid? Wasn't recruited by the top big-time schools, but Coach Barnes, he caught the eye of Coach Barnes. Just one little thing that he did well, and that was playing defense, and that leads to Zakai Ziegler coming here and being now fifth all-time in assists.
They had to battle back from an ACL injury at the end of that 22-23 season, and he really didn't even miss a beat last year. It didn't start for 9 games or 6 games, but it didn't matter. Really got back in the flow of things, and now it's just, it feels like everything has led up this senior year for him. He's a true leader. He does everything defense, could score the ball, facilitate the ball. It is the true lifeblood as Tennessee goes, is where Zakai is.
Yeah, as Zakai goes, that's where Tennessee basketball is going to go.
3 for Patterson is good. Much needed there for the Grizzlies.
Sorely needed bucket for the Montana Grizzlies. Good shot by Patterson.
Lanier right wing. Screen with Milicic. Cross court, Meshack wide open. He wants the 3. Off the iron, no good.
Good offense. Jamon Meshack, again, you know, we talked about it before, but he had some 30,000 made shots over the summer and has become one of the most productive shooters for Coach Barnes.
Yeah, that's a shot that Coach Barnes wants him to take, as Monty Williams has a chance for a 4-point play. He is adding so much to his arsenal. Add a 4-point play chance to the collection tonight.
Monty Williams has just been money all night long, tickling the twine to keep from 3.
Travis DeCuire drawing things up for Montana, trying to finish strong here on another tough road game for Montana. They've gone to Eugene and now to Knoxville, again all in preps for what should be another competitive Big Sky season that looks like it should run once again through the state of Montana. Those two teams, Montana, Montana State, went head-to-head in the Big Sky Tournament Championship game. Montana State ends up going on to the tournament. Grizzlies have their eyes set on their first berth in the Big Dance since 2019.
Yeah, and when you talk to Coach DeCuire just, you know, at shoot-around today, I asked him specifically, do you embrace the fact that you were preseason picked to finish first? And he said, I'd rather not be picked to finish first. And we looked at him kind of puzzled, and he said, you know, the wind blows strongest at the top, man. You know, it's just better to be the hunter rather than being the hunted constantly. So, but at the end of the day, he's going to embrace that, and his players are going to take on that as well, and they're going to play well.
It's a culture that Travis DeCuire has set up that has made Montana so successful. You have good seasons, you're going to be preseason number 1, and a lot is just due to the fact that Coach DeCuire knows how to get these guys in those positions to have a chance to go to the Big Dance. And Montana picked first by the Pierce. Sign of respect as well from the conference foes.
Sign of respect.
Oh, big lob from Okpara, who had it with one paw but couldn't jam it home.
Couldn't bring it home. Great out-of-bounds set from Coach Barnes. A little back screen action to get Felix Okpara a clean run to the basket.
A lot of sets here in the second half. We've seen Zakai look for that lob. Lanier goes up for 2. Might have had Okpara there on that roll, didn't take it.
Yeah, he missed him. Had him wide open on another alley-oop attempt there.
Monty Williams, 28 points, 7 of 12 from the floor, and has been everything as advertised tonight. Virgin baseline, Williams thought about it. Back out, Pridgeon gave him some room. Off the mark.
You know what I really like about that set from Monty Williams? He could have easily taken a couple of those opportunities, but he was really looking to dictate the offense and get guys open, utilizing mismatches because Tennessee was switching everything. He could have been selfish, but he looked to pass it to get his teammates open. And the kid is going to be a special basketball player.
That foul on Williams, that's his third. Tennessee with 4 scorers in double figures. That's Chaz Lanier and Zakai Ziegler battled through that foul trouble in the first half. Igor Milicic, a huge first 20. Felix Okpara also in double digits with 11.
You talk about Tennessee with 4 scorers in double figures. Juxtapose that with Monty Williams, who's the only scorer in double figures and has over half of their point total with 27 right now.
If you're Coach DeCuire, I mean, obviously you have to be very pleased with what you've gotten from Monty Williams. How do you feel? This is a team that they rely on a lot of guys. They've got a 9-man rotation. They want all to contribute, but you also got to tend to the hot hand at the same time.
You got to tend to the hot hand. And as you know, we talk about as Zakai Ziegler goes, so with the Tennessee Volunteers. I think the same is going to play true for Monty Williams. You know, if he continues to shoot the ball as well as he is shooting tonight, the offense, in my opinion, is just going to have to be run through him.
That whistle appears to be on Monty Williams. That's his 4th. At this point, Montana not much to lose, keeping him in there.
I think you got to continue to play him. These opportunities to play in these type of environments don't come along all that much for Montana, as we talked about their first ever visit to the state of Tennessee. Coach DeCuire saying himself that he's never been close to the state of Tennessee. The closest that he's been has been Old Dominion. So, you know, in playing in these environments, it's going to pay dividends for his players down the road.
And Montana doesn't make too many trips into the Eastern time zone. This is the 7th time in Coach DeCuire's 11th season that they've even breached the Eastern time zone. It's hard to do.
It's hard to do, and, you know, you follow Oregon up with a game like this. And you played a couple of lackluster teams, you know, between, but this will set you up for Big Sky play.
That's a turnover. Williams a bit too hot on the pass to Sawyer.
Little too hot on that pass to Sawyer, but I can guarantee you this: at the next level where that young man is going, that's going to be caught, and that will be put in the record books as an assist.
Lanier top of the key. Williams on him. Okpara forward. And they're going to get Lanier with the offensive push-off they do.
Yeah, Coach Barnes is not going to be happy about that because the ball's stuck. You know, most times when Chaz Lanier is playing well, he's using 1 or 2 dribbles to get himself open. But right there, the ball just really stuck in his hands, and that's what Coach Barnes is irate about.
Lanier will come off to the side. Jordan Gainey back in for Tennessee, and that is a carry for Kai Johnson. That's the Zakai Ziegler effect.
Man, Zakai Ziegler is just everywhere. And when you've got that kind of pressure on you, oftentimes it's just that little reach right there from Zakai Ziegler that creates a carry opportunity. You don't see that call much.
No. Well, Zakai made sure to yell it out that he thought it was. Ziegler again to Okpara. Another lob between those two.
That chemistry is looking better and better and better, especially coming off the heels of a disastrous, 10 turnovers from Zakai Ziegler against Louisville just the other day.
SD, what do you make of the turnovers from Zakai Ziegler? Obviously been a lot cleaner tonight. 5 assists, just 1 turnover.
Well, I think he's shouldering a lot of the load right now, playing a lot of minutes until you can get some of the younger guys to come along to be able to make a pass like that, to create an open opportunity at the rim for the bigs on this Tennessee basketball team.
Rick Barnes said it perfect, talking and shoot around. Obviously this team hasn't played a 40 minutes that he can be pleased with. There's always going to be something. There's no perfect 40, and that same can be said as another lob is thrown up for Milicic. It is Lob City here in Knoxville.
Lob City does not reside in California. That was the old LA Clippers, right?
Yeah.
This is this version of the Lob City here. They look really, really well. Guys knowing where each other are going to be.
Ziegler, just another good feed. 4-6 assists off these lobs. And a good drive in from Monty Williams. Exclamation point, he's up to 30 on the night.
Kid's just an unbelievable player. Handles the ball in space.
Oh, look out, Cameron Carr. Got caught on the rim for a bit, but still a highlight for the sophomore.
Cameron Carr, get up, young fella. Incredible athleticism from that young man. Good things to come for Tennessee basketball as he turns the corner. Hoop in the horn for Cameron Carr.
Saw some Lob City. Zakai Ziegler in the zone. Montana getting things set. Their Final Four in Knoxville. Obviously one of their bigger tests of the season. They've got another tough one with Utah State on the horizon later this week as they continue their move towards Big Sky play.
A game like this is really going to set them up for a good little run in the Big Sky Conference. Now, they're going to be tested, but again, coming into this type of environment, man, these guys are going to be ready to play night in and night out against a tough Utah State team, particularly, and Denver as well.
Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, always no joke as well. They got them on the schedule, and a lot of really fun matchups for Tennessee in non-conference. They practically play the entire ACC conference. And they'll get Virginia in the Bahamas next week, and then also you can add in a potential matchup with either Baylor or St. John's.
It's going to be a tough tournament down in the Bahamas. Really looking forward to see Tennessee playing the likes of Virginia, defensive-minded team, and then you play someone like Baylor that can get up and down the floor. Tennessee's got a very, very tough schedule before they get into the heart of SEC play.
They've got Miami in the Jimmy V Classic at Madison Square Garden, and then a really tough road game at Illinois, a home and home that they had with the Fighting Illini. Illinois came to Knoxville last season, and Tennessee got the win, so Illinois team looking for a bit of revenge.
Yeah, they're going to look to repay that debt.
Williams steals it on the defensive end and keeps it for Montana. Some early action in the season for freshman Bishop Boswell. Going up on Williams there.
If you're Coach DeCure, you got to be really pleased and really proud, Andy, of these guys continuing to fight. You know, this game is now out of hand. What was once a 9-point deficit, you know, has turned into nearly 30 points, but these guys haven't given up. They have fought and fought and fought, and they're going to fight to the end.
Here's Boswell. Gainey left wing, smooth drive, smooth finish.
Yeah, he's a smooth operator. Great ball reversal. Got Gainey going downhill.
Timeout, Montana.
Travis DeCure talk it over again. Jordan Gainey hadn't called out his name too much tonight. It's just his first made field goal of the game.
First made field goal in the game, gets his name in the stat sheet. Good drive to the rim. Thought he was going to finish that with authority. But sometimes you just got a finger roll, Andy.
Yeah, that's that experience coming out in Gainey. He's been around the block. He'll take the two as easy as it can come. You're wide open that time.
Yeah, you don't want calluses on the hands
No.
if you're a shooting guard,
It's
right?
early in the season.
Not this early in the season. No need for that.
On the other side, Montana talking through their final 2.5. I want to make note again of Monty Williams and what he's been able to do. I mean, Tennessee, they're going to get a win in the win column, but for Monty Williams, he's the first player with 30 or more on the road against a Tennessee team since Samir Dowdy did it in 2020 for Auburn 4 years ago. First non-conference player since 2014 to put up 30 at Tennessee here at the Food City Center.
Man, that's some high class right there for Money. And you go back to that timeout, you look at that huddle with Coach Shakir. I mean, he had some choice words for the Grizzly basketball team to finish this game in style and not lay over and just let Tennessee do what they want to do on both ends of the floor.
It's a Montana program in great hands right there, has established such a good culture and has done a good job of putting this group together. He said he even went outside of his normal pipeline in terms of recruiting, and the chemistry's been really good, so it's only going to continue to grow for Montana.
But he's got guys from all over the country, and that, obviously is going to become the norm given the transfer portal. But, he sold them on coming there because those guys want to be there. Not because of the NIL, but they want to have an opportunity to get better and to work.
A lot of takeaways from these first 4 games for the Grizzlies. There have been 2 games against lower level teams where you dominated, and then 2 really good Power 5 schools on the road. So it's just both ends of the spectrum there, what they've seen from their group.
Once again, all games that they have played have been decided by 30 points or more. And right now, you look at the scoreboard, and sure enough, they're down by 30.
It felt like Tennessee really turned it up a notch in the second half. Offense felt a bit more fluid, had some scoring droughts in the first half. What do you feel like for Tennessee? What made the difference here in the second?
Settling in, getting used to the competition, getting used to the style of play. Coach Barnes made some adjustments. We talked about it in the first half. Montana was going to come out and hedge hard on every screen. Well, if you move the ball quickly, that negates that screening, the hedging on the screen. And Coach Barnes just done a wonderful job of getting his guys to settle down, getting in rhythm. And Tennessee, to their credit, they come at you in waves. Whereas Montana is not nearly as deep as this Tennessee basketball team.
Tennessee team that is going to continue to be tested and see different play styles. This non-conference, Rick Barnes loves to schedule tough. They're going to see some of the nation's best before they get to one of the nation's best conference in SEC play. It feels like we could be in store for one of the more competitive SEC years, and there's so many question marks. So the brand new Kentucky team, they get a big win over Duke. A brand new John Calipari-led Arkansas squad as well.
Just a really tough SEC this year that could be upwards of 9 to 10 teams to make the round of 68.
See Auburn, a huge win over Houston on Saturday. Both teams from Alabama look incredibly strong. And Tennessee, as always, in the mix. And you add in a Texas and Oklahoma team, it's just going to be a completely different year. Cam Carr, cherry on top.
Cam Carr, again, he's in his bag as well. Had a show-stopping move to the basket a few minutes ago. And finishing with a 3 right there.
A sneaky 12 points for Cam Carr. He's 5 for 5 from the free throw line. A big 3-pointer. Get Tennessee up to 89. Offensively fantastic in the second half. 16-2 run currently. Cade Phillips inside. He gets in on the fun and one.
Well, and maybe this is that epiphany for Cam Carr where that light bulb just comes on and is uber bright. Because, he can shoot the 3, but right there he can utilize the passing skills as well that he has. And Cade Phillips, let's not sleep on Cade Phillips. He's going to get better and better as well. Terrific young man, terrific athlete as well.
Phillips, 4 points. Perfect 2 for 2 from the floor. And the Volunteers unloading the bench. Grant Hurst into the ball game. Phillips can't get the and one. It's going to stay Tennessee way. Tennessee, they've got another home game before they head off to the Bahamas. They've got Austin Peay coming to town. In-state battle on Sunday.
The Governor's going to be ready to play. Should be a great matchup this Sunday.
Austin Peay, a big win over Butler already this season. Eastlawn, Montana, and a turnover. Tennessee just smothering to end the second half here.
Coach Barnes has got to be pleased with the effort from these young guys that are trying to carve out a little piece of their own playing time. And I know these are blowout situations, man, but these are live auditions for a lot of the guys that don't get a whole bunch of playing time.
Final seconds ticking off. Tennessee on their way. What's going to be a 3-0 start. Taking care of business here at home. Here's Boswell. Hurst wide open. That's a deep three. Oh, off the back iron. Chance for another try. Cam Carr again showing the athleticism.
The fans were really excited to see Grant Hurst.
Oh, man.
You know, he's one of those guys, man, that just does it day in and day out. Doesn't get the limelight. Doesn't get talked about much. But this is what Tennessee basketball is all about, man. These guys prepare as they're going to go out and battle on that first team, whether they get 1 second, 1 minute, or any playing time at all. Kudos to the young people like Grant Hurst.
Cam Carr knocks one down to close it. Shot clock off. Tennessee so good in the second half. Montana had it within 9. But Tennessee just cruised in the second as Steve said, settled in. It'll be a third win on the season, a closing 3 for Jeremiah Dargan. The Vols grabbed the win, 92-57, the final all-around dominant second half.
Dominant second half. They turned a 9-point lead into this gigantic margin of victory. You know, I'm no mathematician, man, but all I know is they put up a bunch of points in the second half to walk away with a decided advantage in the scoring column.
Coach Barnes now outright second in program history in wins at Tennessee. That's 205. He shies only the great Ray Mears. Coach Barnes just getting started this year. 3-0 start for his 11th ranked Volunteers. 2-0 at home to start the young season. We say so long here from our crew at the SEC Network. Carter Mills, our director. Bryson Wright, our fantastic producer. Steve Hamer, Andy Brock, our entire crew say so long from Knoxville. Big win for the Volunteers tonight.